Imagine your Social Security check hitting your bank account, and for millions, not a single penny of it gets touched by federal income tax. That's the bombshell proposal on the table. More money in your pocket, right? Sounds like a clear win for seniors. But hang on a second, because what if this tax-free dream for some could turn into a nightmare for the future of Social Security itself? We're going to look past the headlines to see who really cashes in on this and what hidden costs could change everything. What's being proposed? So, what's the main idea here? It's pretty simple. Former President Trump has suggested making Social Security benefits completely exempt from federal income taxes. For decades now, a chunk of these benefits has been taxable for many seniors. This started way back with the Social Security amendments of 1983. The thinking back then was to treat Social Security more like other retirement income and, importantly, to help strengthen the Social Security trust funds. Right now, whether you pay federal tax on your benefits hinges on your provisional income. This is figured out by taking half of your Social Security benefits and adding it to your other taxable income, stuff like wages, pensions, and investment returns. If you're single and this total is between $25,000 and $34,000, up to 50% of your benefits can be taxed. If it's over $34,000, up to 85% can be taxed. For couples filing jointly, those thresholds are $32,000 to $44,000 for the 50% bracket and over $44,000 for the 85% bracket. Now, here's a key thing. These income thresholds haven't been bumped up for inflation in ages. So, what does that mean? As incomes have gone up even a little, more and more seniors are getting hit with these taxes. We're talking about 40% of recipients, or around 27 million people. You can see why getting rid of this tax sounds pretty good, right? For those currently paying it, it means an instant boost in their take-home pay. More money for groceries, health care, grandkids. It's a tempting idea, especially when many seniors are feeling the squeeze. And it's not just this one proposal. Some Republican lawmakers are talking about other related ideas too, like a new $4,000 enhanced deduction for seniors age 65 and up. That would be available whether they itemize or take the standard deduction, though it's different from completely wiping out the tax on benefits. Who really wins? Alright, so if Social Security benefits become tax-free, who actually walks away with the biggest prize? A tax cut sounds great for everyone, but when you look closer, these benefits wouldn't be spread out evenly. The fact is, a lot of lower income seniors already don't pay much, if any, federal tax on their Social Security because their provisional income is below those thresholds we just talked about. For them, this change might not mean a whole lot of extra cash. So, who are the real winners here? Well, according to several studies, it would be higher income seniors. These are the folks who currently pay the most tax on their Social Security because they have more income from other places like pensions, investments, or even from continuing to work. Estimates from the Penn-Wharton budget model suggest the biggest tax cuts go to the top slice of earners, with annual gains that could be in the thousands of dollars. To give you an idea, some analyses project that the wealthiest seniors could see tax breaks worth up to $5,000 a year, or even more in lifetime gains, potentially over $100,000 for some high-income households. Meanwhile, those in lower income brackets might only see a few hundred extra dollars a year, or maybe nothing at all if they weren't paying tax on their benefits in the first place. The Tax Policy Center found that taxpayers in the top 40% of the income ladder would get about 72% of the tax benefits from ditching taxes on Social Security. This group would see a tax cut more than 5 times bigger than the cut for the bottom 60%. So even though this is pitched as a win for all seniors, the big financial score mostly lands in the bank accounts of those who are already doing pretty well. And this is a really important point. It's what's called a regressive tax cut, which basically means it helps the wealthy more. While over 95% of current retirees might see some benefit, how much benefit really varies. What's the trade-off for Social Security funding? This is where that bombshell part of the title starts to sound a bit more alarming. Now, that tax money from Social Security benefits, it doesn't just vanish into some big government pot. A big chunk of it, about 3/5, goes specifically to prop up the Social Security trust funds. That's the Old Age and Survivors Insurance, OASI, and Disability Insurance, DI funds. The rest goes to Medicare's Hospital Insurance, HI Trust Fund. Just to give you a sense of scale, in 2025 alone, taxes on benefits are expected to bring in around $60.8 billion for the Social Security trust funds. Wiping out this revenue stream, which is projected to be somewhere between $1.2 trillion and $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years, would blow a huge hole in Social Security's financing, and the fallout, it's pretty serious. The Social Security trustees are already projecting that the OASI trust fund, the one that pays retirement benefits, is heading for depletion. Under current law, that's expected around 2033 or 2034. Take away that tax and that date could come a year or two sooner, maybe as early as 2031 or 2032. And Medicare's HI Trust Fund, its depletion date could show up even faster, potentially 6 years earlier, around 2030. What does insolvency actually mean? It doesn't mean Social Security just disappears overnight, but it does mean the program would only be able to pay out what it's bringing in from ongoing tax revenue. Projections show this would lead to an automatic across-the-board cut in benefits for all recipients. So, instead of 100% of your promised benefits, you might only get 75% to 83%. And if the tax on benefits is axed, that cut could be even deeper, possibly jumping from a 17 to 21% cut to a 25% cut. Now here's a kicker. These proposals to cut the tax usually don't say how they'd replace that lost money. There's no talk of raising the payroll tax rate or bumping up the cap on earnings subject to Social Security taxes. Right now, income above a certain level isn't taxed for Social Security. Without a plan to make up that $1.5 trillion shortfall, the direct result is a faster track to benefit cuts for everyone who relies on Social Security now and down the road. Some people argue this is a bit of a sleight of hand, giving a tax break with one hand while setting the stage for bigger benefit cuts with the other, beyond the tax break. This idea isn't happening in isolation, of course. It's often talked about alongside other big tax changes, like making the 2017 tax cuts permanent. These wider tax cuts also affect how much money the government has and our national debt. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates that getting rid of taxes on Social Security benefits plus other suggested tax exemptions like for tips and overtime pay could cost at least $2.2 trillion in revenue over 10 years. Losing that much federal money could squeeze other public services and programs that a lot of Americans count on. And there's more. The Penn-Wharton budget model thinks that getting rid of taxes on Social Security might make people less likely to save and work as they get closer to retirement. This could lead to less capital investment, lower average wages, and a small dip in overall GDP over time. These big picture economic effects might seem far off, but they can hit the long-term economic strength that programs like Social Security rely on. And what about future generations? Studies show that while many folks retired now would get a boost, younger people and everyone coming after could end up worse off, possibly facing lower benefits and a weaker economy. Those born today could see a welfare loss equal to thousands of dollars over their lifetime. This really makes you wonder about what's fair between generations, doesn't it? Is a tax break for today's seniors, especially the wealthier ones, worth risking the system for their kids and grandkids? Look, This whole discussion about making Social Security benefits tax-free, it's complicated. Sure, more money in seniors' pockets sounds great at first, but you can't ignore the potential long-term problems for Social Security and Medicare, how it mostly helps wealthier folks, and the wider economic ripples, weighing the pros and cons. So let's circle back to our main question: Trump's no-tax Social Security bombshell. Who really wins? The direct and immediate winners are clear. Seniors who currently pay federal income tax on their Social Security benefits, and within that group, higher income seniors stand to gain the most significant financial relief, potentially thousands of dollars each year. For them, this means real extra cash to spend, but that win starts to look a lot shakier when you zoom out and think long term. The hidden downsides? They're pretty big. The main loser here seems to be the Social Security program itself, and that means everyone who depends on it now and in the future. Cutting off a major money source without a backup plan just speeds up the day the piggy bank runs dry, meaning likely automatic big cuts to benefits for everybody. So, a tax break today could mean a smaller Social Security check tomorrow for millions, including those who got little or no benefit from the tax cut itself. Lower income seniors, many of whom don't pay federal taxes on their benefits currently, would see little to no direct gain from this specific proposal. Yet they would be just as vulnerable to future benefit cuts if the system's finances are weakened. Younger generations and future retirees also face a potential loss. They would inherit a Social Security system with a bigger funding gap, potentially facing higher taxes or lower benefits throughout their own retirement, all while possibly seeing negative impacts on wages and GDP. This whole idea of tax-free Social Security benefits, it's a classic case of something that looks good on the surface, but could have some serious long-term sting. It offers a direct financial boost to some seniors, particularly those who are better off, but it does so at the risk of damaging the financial stability of a program that millions rely on as a cornerstone of their retirement security. So this debate isn't just about a tax cut. It's really about what our priorities are and the future of one of America's most vital safety nets. Getting these deeper issues is important for all of us, not just folks close to or in retirement. What are your thoughts on this proposal? Does the idea of tax-free Social Security benefits appeal to you, or are you more concerned about the long-term funding of the program? Let us know in the comments below. We really want to hear your perspective. If you found this breakdown helpful and it helped you understand the nuances behind the headlines, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll keep bringing you detailed analysis on policies that impact your finances and your future. So when it comes down to it, this no-tax Social Security bombshell looks shiny on the outside, but the inside is complex and frankly a bit worrying. While millions of seniors could see their Social Security checks become tax-free, the real question is at what cost? The evidence suggests that the primary beneficiaries are higher income retirees, while the long-term stability of Social Security for everyone else, including future generations, could be put at greater risk. It's a big gamble, and understanding both sides is key as this whole thing plays out. Thanks for watching.